The Galapagos Islands host the highest concentration of endemic species on the planet, yet they are strictly managed as a fragile, high-cost laboratory for human curiosity. You land on a runway built of volcanic rock, surrounded by a landscape that feels like it belongs to another epoch. It's quiet here, save for the rhythmic crash of the Pacific against black basalt cliffs. The air feels different, charged with a sense of isolation that has defined these islands for millions of years. We aren't just visiting a destination, we are stepping into a living, breathing, natural experiment where time seems to have folded in on itself. The isolation of this archipelago, sitting 600 miles off the coast of Ecuador, allowed evolution to take a detour. While the rest of the world was busy developing, the Galapagos remained in a state of suspended animation, a volcanic cradle where life followed its own unique set of rules. Today, we're peeling back the layers of this mythic place to see if it truly delivers on its promise of an otherworldly encounter, or if the legend has grown larger than the reality. Let's start with the inhabitants. These animals didn't evolve with predators, and it shows. A blue-footed booby stands motionless on a path as you pass, its gaze indifferent to your existence. It's a surreal experience. You aren't just observing them, you're an invited guest in their living room. Think about the giant tortoises, ancient creatures that could live for over a century, lumbering slowly through the highlands. They move with the weight of history in their shells, carrying the genetic memory of an island that has seen tectonic plates shift and volcanoes rise from the deep. These tortoises are the living anchors of the archipelago. Some are descendants of populations that have been present since long before human navigation reached these waters. Then there are the marine iguanas, the only lizards in the world that have adapted to forage in the ocean, sneezing out salt as they bask on the sun-drenched rocks to regulate their body temperature. It's a masterclass in adaptation, a biological compromise between the harsh terrestrial volcanic soil and the nutrient-rich, frigid Pacific currents. You see sea lions that treat the docks of San Cristobal like their personal playground, lounging on benches and nudging tourists with a curiosity that borders on playfulness. The level of intimacy you have with these animals is unparalleled, but it's also highly regulated. You are never allowed to touch, and you must stay on marked paths, often flanked by volcanic stone boundaries that serve as the only line of defense between human clumsiness and fragile ecosystems. It's a delicate balance between human wonder and the preservation of a species that has no concept of what a human is. They view us with the same blank curiosity they might apply to a passing cloud or a shifting rock. Every interaction feels like a quiet negotiation between two worlds that shouldn't be meeting. A fragile truce held together by strict environmental laws and the watchful eyes of park rangers. Now we have to address the elephant in the room, the price tag. The Galapagos is not a budget destination, and it's not meant to be. There's a national park entrance fee, a transit card, and the inevitable cost of flights from mainland Ecuador, which are tightly controlled to limit the sheer volume of human traffic. Then you decide between two very different paths, the liveaboard cruise or the land-based stay. A cruise can easily run you thousands of dollars for a week, and for that, you are essentially buying a floating fortress. You're paying for access to remote islands that are otherwise unreachable, guided by experts who know every crevice of the archipelago and have the clearance to anchor in restricted zones. It's a luxury, yes, but it's also an investment in logistics. If you choose the land-based route, you're looking at daily boat excursions, which add up quickly. You're paying for fuel, for the captain, for the guide, and for the maintenance of a vessel in one of the most corrosive environments on Earth. Saltwater is a death sentence for machinery, and the cost of keeping a boat seaworthy in the middle of the Pacific is astronomical. Prices are high because the infrastructure is limited, and the conservation burden is immense. Every plastic bottle, every scrap of food, and every visitor is a variable that has to be managed. If you bring a single invasive seed on your boot, you could technically alter the destiny of an entire islet. You're not just paying for a vacation, You're paying for the privilege of witnessing an ecosystem that is fighting to stay pristine in an increasingly crowded world. The cost is the gatekeeper, ensuring that the islands aren't overrun by mass tourism, maintaining a standard of exclusivity that keeps the human footprint as light as possible. Is it worth the investment? That's the question everyone asks, and the answer depends entirely on what you're looking for. If you want a resort experience with poolside cocktails, white glove service, and a buffet that rivals a Las Vegas casino, you're in the wrong place. The Galapagos is for the curious, the patient, and the respectful. It's for those who find beauty in a bird's mating dance, or the way light hits a lava field at dusk. If you measure value by the number of unique, once-in-a-lifetime encounters, then it is priceless. You might spend 3 days without seeing anything new. And then, on the 4th day, you're snorkeling with a hammerhead shark in a deep water channel. That moment, that sudden rush of adrenaline and awe, is what people pay for. It's an investment in your own perspective. You leave the islands with a different understanding of how life survives and thrives in the most unlikely circumstances. It shifts your baseline for what is amazing. You realize that nature doesn't need to be loud to be spectacular. It just needs to be left alone. Consider the sheer silence of a sunset over the Bartolome landscape. There is a profound, almost heavy silence that descends when the wind dies down, broken only by the distant, rhythmic slap of water. In that silence, you realize that the world is much bigger and much older than your daily routine. That perspective, that sense of scale, is something you cannot purchase in a shopping mall. So how do you do this without draining your entire life savings? The secret is in the planning. Skip the high-end luxury cruises if you're budget conscious, and focus on land-based travel in towns like Puerto Ayora or Puerto Bacarizo Marino. You can find local hostels or mid-range hotels that offer authentic experiences without the massive markup of a cruise ship. These towns are the beating heart of the archipelago. They are where the residents live, where the kids go to school, and where the real life of the Galapagos unfolds away from the tourist brochures. Eat where the locals eat. The almuerzo is a staple of Ecuadorian life, providing a filling, nutritious meal for a fraction of what you pay at a tourist-focused restaurant. Often these meals are simple: a soup, a plate of rice, beans, and a small portion of protein, but they are the fuel of the islands. Use the public ferries between islands instead of private charters. Yes, they are bumpy, they are loud, and sometimes they feel like a roller coaster ride through the open ocean, but they get the job done at a fraction of the cost. Look for last-minute cruise deals if you absolutely must be on the water. Often, operators would rather fill a cabin at a discount than let it sail empty. And always prioritize your guides. A good guide can make a mediocre day feel like a documentary film set. The cost of a guide is the best money you will spend, because they turn the landscape from a series of rocks and bushes into a complex, fascinating narrative of survival, explaining why the finches have different beaks, or how the lava cactus manages to grow out of solid, jagged basalt. Finally, let's talk about the nature of the experience itself. It's sensory, visceral, and sometimes overwhelming. You wake up before the sun to catch the best light, watching the islands emerge from the darkness like ghosts rising from the Pacific. You spend hours in the water, your skin turning cold, watching schools of fish move in perfect, kaleidoscopic synchronicity. You hike over jagged lava flows that look like the surface of the moon, your boots crunching against the brittle, cooling earth. There's a profound stillness here that gets into your bones. Even when you're with a group, the sheer scale of the landscape makes you feel small, almost insignificant. It's a humbling reminder that we are just one species among millions, and we are not the masters of this domain. You might find yourself sitting on a beach, watching the sun dip below the horizon, and realizing that the island you're on hasn't changed much in thousands of years. It's a rare feeling in the modern world, a sense of continuity, of something ancient that has survived despite everything we've done to the planet. It's not just about seeing the animals, it's about feeling the pulse of the earth itself. You realize that you are standing on a volcanic hotspot, a place where the earth is literally being created and destroyed at the same time. You leave the Galapagos not with a tan or a collection of plastic souvenirs, but with a quiet, persistent curiosity about the rest of the world and our fragile place within it. But let's push this thought further. If you think the Galapagos is the pinnacle of isolation, what happens when you travel to the middle of the Amazon, where the trees are so dense they swallow the sound of a falling branch, and the indigenous tribes still live by laws that predate the arrival of the Incas? In the Galapagos, you are looking at the evolution of species. In the Amazon, you are looking at the evolution of consciousness itself. The humidity there is a physical weight, a thick blanket that reminds you that you are a visitor in a realm that has no need for your approval. Where the Galapagos is a harsh, volcanic, sun-scorched laboratory, the Amazon is a chaotic, verdant, waterlogged cathedral of life. The transition from the stark basalt of the islands to the emerald depths of the rainforest is enough to make any traveler question what they know about the planet. It's a contrast that highlights the sheer diversity of our world. The Galapagos is the quiet, methodical study of biology, while the Amazon is the loud, frantic, and beautiful explosion of it. Both are essential, both are under threat, and both represent a version of reality that is fast disappearing. That is a mystery for another journey, one that makes the Galapagos feel almost like a bustling city in comparison, a journey into the true, untamed heart of the wild. So keep your eyes open, keep your boots laced, and keep your curiosity peaked, because there is always another horizon to chase, another ecosystem to decode, and another version of the world waiting for you to witness it. The Galapagos was just the beginning of the lesson.